In DFS 2013 R2, users can now control how index moves are animated in 3D simulation. The part can rotate realistically in space, or it can remain stationary. This can be controlled independently for turn mill, 4-axis milling, and 5-axis milling parts. We'll start with turn mill, and I have a part here. If you want to run this simulation the way I'm going to show you, make sure you open up the browser window and this project folder, and you'll see this Mori NT4250 post. Use this post and you'll get the same results you're going to see here on the screen. Alright, first of all, this does not affect centerline simulation. When I run centerline, the part always stays stationary anyway. You can see that milling tool orbiting around the part as the part sits still. There's also a milling feature for this counterbore, and that was doing the same thing. In 3D, however, you can have the part rotate more realistically. So there's face and drill, and there you can see the counterbore. It'll be a little more evident when we do the milling on the outside. So there's the finished pass, and here comes the milling, and you can see the part rotating realistically. Okay, there's rough and there's finish. Now if you want to, like I said, you can turn this off. You can go to options, and under simulation you'll see a rotate when indexing section. I'll turn off turn mill and show you the difference. Obviously turning looks no different, but you can see here on the counterbore the tool is turning around, and especially on this feature where we're cutting the outside, you can see that tool kind of going around the part. Okay, this also does not affect machine simulation. If I run a machine sim, even with rotate when indexing turned off, machine simulation still behaves as it should with the part rotating. And there you can see that more realistic behavior there. Alright, I happen to prefer having it on for turn mill, so I'll just go back to my options and turn it back on. There are times though that I do like to turn it off, and it has to do more with when I'm doing 5-axis or 4-axis milling indexing, especially depending upon where the index axis is. A lot of times you end up with the part sort of flopping around in space a lot. To show you that, I have this 5-axis example from the examples folder in DFS, and I'll speed the simulation up and you'll see what I mean. Run a 3D sim, play that, and you can see the part kind of flying around in space. That's not too bad, but I also like it with the part staying stationary. So again, I can go to options, 5-axis milling, turn that off, click OK, and you'll see the difference. You'll also notice that the simulation is faster. So be sure to check this out. It's a great way for you to control how your simulation behaves.